What it do? What it do? You know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. Most definitely hit that bell icon. That's a notification bell that alerts you all content that will drop to my YouTube channel. Also, make sure you hit the thumbs up, the AKA the like button. YouTube appreciate that. S.L.R Media TV appreciate that. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I need everybody to go check out my second YouTube channel, S.L.R Sports News TV. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment over there. All helps both my channels grow, get more viewers, more subscribers, push it further into the YouTube algorithm. It's also very important that you watch the content, binge watch on. It's very important. Support the channel, support the movement. You like what I do on the content level. Make sure you hit the Cash App. All information is pinned in the ticker. Appreciate all the support. Everybody who hits the Cash App, continue to donate. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to my future subscribers. You see the title. See the title. The war in hip hop. Diddy lifestyle. Will Diddy beat the case? Will he beat the case? From my opinion, my perspective, what I'm looking at right now, the feds have not proven their case. They haven't proven the racketeering. They haven't proven the sex trafficking. Only thing they has proven is domestic violence, physical abuse, mental abuse. That's not racketeering. That's not a RICO charge. It's not sex trafficking. You cannot charge a man and give a man a life sentence for his lifestyle. Just because what he likes to do, that's his lifestyle. There's plenty of rich people that probably live that same lifestyle. What Diddy is on his own is in court for, charged for, the feds have not proven their case. You can't even call Cassie a star witness. She would be a star witness in state court on the state level, but you're a star witness at the federal level, and you thought just because you showed the video of her getting beat and her story, which she collabed with Diddy, was nothing even force fed. She was just mad and upset because she wanted to put some music out. She wanted to do music, and Diddy continued to lie to her. I said it before and I said it again. All Diddy had to do was let her drop her album, give her 2 singles, let her tour on 10 dates, and that would have been it. She would have been perfect with that. She'd have been good for the simple fact that she would have known if anything would have happened to her, Diddy, they don't get together. At least she has her album. least she could say, I made an album. She can't say that. Maybe Carisha, Young Miami did play a part. Maybe she did get mad at Young Miami. Maybe she did get mad because she felt like she should have been in that spot Young Miami was in. How you back and support Miami. Maybe that right there was the the jump start that she need to try to bring you down. That was the jump start she needed to get the silver suit. You're calling freak off workers, and none of them. Maybe Jonathan Odie. They're probably the only one that you're probably gonna get out of 13 or 14 of them, however it was, to maybe say something bad about Diddy or say Diddy made a force them or some bullshit. But the rest of the sex workers not gonna say nothing because nothing was forced. So I believe in that the feds are running out. They're running out of ammunition. They're running out. They don't have nothing left. And I believe what Diddy, them attorney team is them doing is letting the feds exhaust of what they got left to see if they have anything else left before Diddy's team go on the offense. Because for this to be a long trial, 2 weeks or a month trial, either the feds better have a lot evidence, or the feds are still working behind the scenes to still gather and scare Diddy associates into tricking them in thinking they're gonna have to do some jail time if they don't testify against Diddy. What's the other dude? Little Rob, whatever his fucking name is. Where he at? Is he gonna test? You gonna bring Kid Cudi? What the fuck Kid Cudi got to do with this? Kid Cudi ain't got nothing. See, that's when you know the feds really ain't got shit. They ain't really working on nothing. This ain't R. Kelly. This is not a slam dunk case where you damn near got everybody who worked with R. Kelly against R. Kelly because they don't want to go to jail. This is a different story. You're trying to pin a video, a sexual, not a sexual violence, but a how you want to do that? How you want to do it? A domestic violence case to convict one of the most powerful men in hip hop in the music business to try to bring him down for off a as we call it again, a domestic abuse. Never heard of domestic abuse case being tried in federal. Crazy, unheard of. I said before and I say it again. Once you got past the first couple of days of the ooh and the ah and just now getting in the case and letting the media determine letting the media determine the verdict already, because that's what the feds wanted to do. Let's get it out there early and let's get the media to convict Sean Combs early. Because they get the conviction of the media, it only trickles to the juror. That's what they try to do. They try to hit the home run ball early. And I'm telling you now, it didn't go out. It didn't go out the stadium. People are waiting for more after the Cassie testimony. People like it got to be something bigger than this because she didn't give too much. There's nothing. Nothing. He say, she say shit. But we're gonna get into the content. We're most definitely gonna get into the content. And we're gonna get into this. I told you, this is the channel where you wanna come to get all your P. Diddy trial case, all that. We're on it. S.L.R Media TV, we're on it. Yeah. All your hip hop, all the blogs, everything. This is the channel. We're on it. All day, every day. Yeah. I started this Diddy shit early in the game when the charges were dropped on Diddy. Remember when they were trying to put Jay-Z, they were trying to convince people that Jay-Z had something to do with this. When we was on this shit early. Now it's done heated up. The war on hip hop, Diddy. Let's get into the content.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy. I go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
For decades, he was a music industry titan.
He's so handsome.
Known for hits like Been Around the World and launching careers like those of Mary J. Blige and Biggie Smalls and making hip-hop mainstream.
Diddy finally has the key to the city!
With his own record label, reality TV franchises, fashion brand, vodka, tequila, and a cable television channel, Sean Diddy Combs became a fixture on red carpets and in pop culture. Now, the self-proclaimed bad boy for life is facing the chance of life in prison as he goes on trial in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and interstate transportation for prostitution. Probably one of the most famous people in the world. How does that inform his trial?
If you have been anywhere but under a rock in the last 2 to 3 decades or so, you either know his work directly or indirectly. And a lot of people have a difficulty of separating art from the person. And so will there be, to some degree, a connection of that for people that will be hard to separate? Absolutely.
Combs has pleaded not guilty.
He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might.
Federal authorities began investigating Combs after his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, brought a civil lawsuit against him. Combs settled one day after the lawsuit was filed with no admission of guilt. Ventura claimed in the lawsuit that Combs physically, sexually, and emotionally abused her during their on and off relationship. Ventura is expected to be a key witness for the prosecution. Is Cassie Ventura the star witness?
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I say that is you take Cassie Ventura's civil lawsuit, you take this federal indictment, and you see so much overlap between the two of them. I think it's Cassie.
The trial will also include testimony from 3 other alleged victims who have not been identified. 2 of those victims will be allowed to keep their identities concealed during trial. Combs is accused of abusing, threatening, and coercing the victims to participate in elaborate, drug-fueled orgies with male prostitutes that he called freak-offs.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
From what we know of the defense strategy is Sean Combs was a swinger, and bringing a third party or a fourth party or extra people into the bedroom in a consensual relationship is no crime.
Yeah, and I think that's the move. When you separate white parties from freak-offs, when you separate criminality from consensual sex that might not be as mainstream as especially the SDNY is, you take Sean Combs, he is in no way, shape, or form the average person in anything. And so why should the act that so many people do between consenting adults be as average or normal for him?
So then is the prosecution's job as simple as, seriously?
I mean, seriously, and listen to them. They didn't sign up for this. Who would sign up for this? Look at the evidence, look at the statements, look at the pictures if they have them. Look at the text messages in close in time about them describing these events.
Federal officers say they found what they believe is evidence of the so-called freak-offs when they raided 2 of Combs' homes last year, including drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Authorities say they also found firearms with defaced serial numbers. There were these raids of his homes in Miami and in Los Angeles. There were guns drawn. Does any of that matter at trial? Or is just the result of all that, the evidence that was collected, what matters?
When you tell, I think, the average person or juror that DHS or law enforcement showed up to Diddy's home with like Kevlar and body armor, I think the average person thinks, well, that's a really bad person. And so whether people want to admit it or not, they're going to infer criminality just based on how law enforcement operated in that. But the tangible should be, to your point, what was recovered.
The defense has tried to keep some of the evidence out, including this surveillance video first obtained by CNN that shows Combs kicking and dragging Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel. Combs' attorneys argued the video had been manipulated, a claim CNN denied. They've also described the video as depicting the end of an otherwise loving relationship. Is there any way to look at what's on the video and see it the way the defense does, that this is the unfortunate end of a loving relationship?
Yes, but it's going to take some tightrope walking, threading the needle. There's an argument that he is guilty of something, but not guilty of what he's accused of.
The judge decided the video can be used. When he's not in court, Combs is incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a far cry from the lavish waterfront mansions Combs once called home. Sean Combs was denied bail because prosecutors said he intimidated witnesses. Several judges agreed that part of his MO, as prosecutors laid it out, was to intimidate the people into silence. Is that why he's incarcerated?
He's in MDC. He allegedly got a cell phone at some point in time. He was using another inmate's, let's call it for lack of a better term, like a serial number, where you can dial in and use their number so you can't detect whether or not Sean Combs is using that phone or someone else. And it was that he had almost a campaign where he was trying to influence individuals. And I think all of that, the government said, he can't even follow the rules when he's incarcerated. What rules can we create that when he is out on some amount of bond or bail, that he'll follow those rules?
The jury is expected to be finalized Monday, with the lawyers closing in on 12 jurors and 6 alternates who will ultimately decide if the mogul who launched major music careers, a fashion brand, and liquor labels will face the possibility of a life behind bars.
So in May of 2018, a man named Jonathan Odie opened fire at Donald Trump's Miami golf course and was shot and arrested by police. Now, Odie said that he was in the middle of a bipolar episode. That's where it gets interesting. Later, while being questioned by Florida authorities, Odie brought up something totally unexpected. He claimed that he'd been a sex slave for Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura. This video is courtesy of Real World Media. Take a look.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean, Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave.
So at the time, Odie's story seemed too far-fetched to believe, but not anymore. And now, in an exclusive interview, Odie opens up to News Nation senior producer Allison Weiner about his claims, beginning with why he's agreed to talk now. Listen to this.
I felt bad because I got along well with her, and I think she's a decent person. And unfortunately, I had a suspicion that she was in a situation that she was in, but I wasn't sure. And now I understand what was going on in her life and what was happening. And him beating her up in the hotel shows me the type of individual he is, and confirms that everything that happened to me was true and correct and in line with his personality.
So he's speaking to us from a Miami jail now. Here is how Odie says it all began for him.
I was a male Chippendale, a model Chippendale, you could say. And they called me for a show they called the agency that I work for to do a show. And then I went and did a show, and things led to them offering me more money to perform sexual acts. And that's it. That's how I basically got started. I get dressed like a police officer on the show, and they'll strip down. And then, they offer me some more money. They offer me some more money to do some extra stuff.
So Odie did get specific about the extra stuff that he says Diddy wanted from him, and these specifics were consistent with what he told law enforcement during the 2014 interrogation. Here is how he describes the atmosphere and how frequently it happened.
Candles, sensual atmosphere, lights off. He would sit in a corner in a sofa, watch and masturbate, and he'd say, he'd tell her, give her instructions what to do to me. Perform oral sex, rub baby oil, then he'd tell me rub baby on her, perform oral sex, and then have sex.
How many times did you have sex with Cassie?
Probably like 15 sessions.
And what did you get paid? How much?
It would be like 800 each time. Each act. But sometimes they'll call me twice. I'll leave, and then 3 hours later, they'll call me, come back.
And so Odie claimed that the sessions were drug-fueled, and that his concern for both Cassie and himself led him to get one of their sessions on video. Listen to what he says about that.
Why did you decide to record or video?
Because after she passed out, I decided to record that. So in the event anything worse happened, like if she died, or anybody died, it will be on camera, it will be on video, what happened. So I wouldn't be responsible for any of that.
So you were beginning to worry about her doing drugs. I mean, like about her dying, or him dying, or somebody dying from the drugs, and that you would be held responsible. So you brought a video. You brought your phone?
No, I had a USB video memory stick done like spy shot, and I put it in a wallet on the table, in the living room table of the hotel I was upstairs. I just filmed it, and it had everything I described, and it had her threatening me, but he was telling her what to say. We had an argument. When I left, I knew they were paranoid. So I wanted to guarantee my safety. So I texted him. I said, "Hey, if anything happens to me, I got evidence I've been with you." At the settlement table, there was a lot of irregularities. Okay, It was my first settlement. So they brought me in, and Diddy had a T-shirt with two men in ski masks pointing, making gun signs. Okay, and it was black and white, and it had a red frame. Okay, but that's the way he operates. He communicates, threatening you, like saying, "I'm gonna have you killed."
So Odie says to prevent the recording from going public, that's what he was just talking about, Diddy had him sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, in exchange for $5 million in hush money. This was in 2014. The Daily Mail ran a screenshot of what appears to be a signature page signed by Sean Combs and Odie. We have not been able to obtain the document or verify its contents or authenticity, nor have we been able to verify the existence of the video that you heard him talking about. Now, according to Daily Mail's report, the timing coincided with a spending spree by Odie of Florida real estate, and it also coincided with Odie's divorce. His ex-wife tells the Daily Mail that she found out about his windfall only after their split.
Basically, the day the incidents happened at Trump National Doral, I had to take a medication, and I'd been diagnosed bipolar, but I wasn't sure I was bipolar, and I had an episode, and basically, I've been taking medication every day. I've been stable. I had no issues in jail. I've done excellent behavior in jail. Yeah, I feel I'm ready to come out to society and be a productive member of society.
All right, so Odie remains locked up in a Florida jail, still awaiting trial on charges of attempted murder, armed burglary, aggravated assault, and armed grand theft. Regarding the sex slave claims, we've reached out to Sean Diddy Combs' team for comment and have yet to hear back. And thank you to Allison Weiner for that interview. We'll continue to investigate all of that.
This is everybody.
Hey, you bugging, I'm out. Hello?
Yo, what you doing, King?
What you mean? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Nah, I'm sleeping.
Oh, my bad. I'm throwing a little party. Thought you might want some cheesecake or something. I mean, everybody gonna be here.
Wait, you said cheesecake?
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll go.
Hell yeah.
Ain't gonna lie, this mansion big as hell. Hey, yo, Diddy, where you at? Wait, where everybody at? Fucking, I'm finna get a piece of this cheesecake. Hey, yo, Diddy.
Meek, I'm in here. I'm in here, Meek. Meek, I'm in here, come in. Close that door behind you.
Yo, where everybody at?
This is everybody.
Hey, you bugging, I'm out.
You know, we ain't never really party together.
What you mean?
But how you like that cheesecake?
Yeah, I feel funny. Hey, you do some of this cheat.
You know, I like when you be scraping and scrambling and shit like that. Scrambling and scraping and shit. You know,
I like when you be scraping and scrambling and shit. Meek. Wake your sexy ass up. Welcome to the Diddy Club, Bad Boys Edition.
Let's get perspective now, okay? Combs' friend of more than 35 years, all right? The idea that you don't know somebody after that amount of time is an impossibility. The question is, will he be truthful? Charlucci Finney, it's good to have you.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you taking the time. I see by what you're wearing that you are a strong supporter indeed of Diddy, as you have been since this first started. First, respond to this main idea. Sean is rough. He hits women, and you do what he says, or he will punish you. And that's why Cassie and others were not willing participants at the freak-offs. What do you make of that suggestion?
Like you said, it's a suggestion, and that don't make it a fact. That just make it a suggestion, like you just said, my friend.
Why isn't it a fact?
Because it hasn't been proven that's a fact. It's a suggestion. Someone said something, right? You have to follow behind it, and you have to hear two parts to it. So what was said, what you're saying, is what this was heard. That's it. There's no facts to it.
But you tell me, from your experience,
right?
Was the Cassie a one-off, or is your friend somebody who's got a problem with hitting women? Did he make people do things they didn't want to do? You would know the answer, Charlucci.
Okay, so a one-off. I don't even know him to hit women. That's one, right? And after what I've seen, right? My friend was in a toxic relationship with another person that was obviously toxic. Based on what we're seeing, they both admitted to doing drugs, right? And I can't say one-off. Anyone that's enough. Hitting one person is enough. So it's not about 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7. One person is enough. And nobody should put hands on nobody. A man shouldn't touch a woman, a woman should not touch a man, especially in a violent manner.
And you're saying you never saw him hit any women?
Never.
I'm a father. Go ahead, please, Charlucci.
I'm a father of two daughters, right? So I wouldn't be here wearing this shirt if I've ever saw any one of my friends, especially him, hit a woman. And it would never happen in front of me. And I've never seen it, never heard it. And seeing it, yeah, it was a lot to take in, but I knew that wasn't him. It looked like, like I was saying, drug-induced, high, or whatever you want to call it. But that's not the Sean that I know. That you see in the hallway.
The idea that the freak-offs, people had to do it because they were afraid of Sean Combs.
I don't believe that. They were consenting adults. How you gonna make a ex-worker fly in town or come to somewhere and leave unharmed, unscathed? Like I've never heard of nothing like that in my life. These sound like willing participants to me.
Have you been in touch with your friend while he's been in custody?
Yes, I have.
How is he holding up during this process?
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot, because he's worried, he's concerned about his family, his children, his mom, his sisters, his nieces, and his nephews. Like he's just focused on getting this behind him.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
When the feds are coming after you, they rarely miss. How burdened is he that if they want to get him, they're going to get him? And how does he process that?
It have to be something to get. You have to have sex trafficking. You have to have racketeering. All I've been hearing is domestic violence. That's all I've been hearing.
Has he talked to you at all about what happens if they make the case and he loses?
No, he's not thinking like that. We stand prayed up. That's what we're doing. We stand prayed up, and the evidence is going to show that he's not guilty of these crimes that they're alleging.
He's not having those mind games of what happens if I'm in here for the rest of my life?
He's not thinking like that. Well, I think like that. You would have to actually do the crime to do the time, right? So we 1,000% in belief, and we know that he's innocent. They have to prove them charges.
So people are watching this right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's assume they're open. They only know this guy as the superstar that he is, and you know what they have heard about him. That he was having these parties, he was bringing people in from all over the place. Some of them wanted to be there. The allegation is some of them didn't want to be there, or they were sexually abused by him, and they couldn't say anything because of how powerful he is. Okay. What do you want them to know about the man that you know?
He didn't bring anyone in. If you was following the case, and I'm quite sure you have, Chris, Cassie brought the people in. Cassie, that's what she did. So a sex worker never said that Sean brought them anywhere, or did anything. And as far as being scared, that's just mind-boggling to me. I don't believe that at all. Everybody was willing, consenting adults. And this is what his defense team is going to show and prove.
Charlucci, I appreciate you coming on to give this perspective. It's important for the audience, and you know how to get us if you have anything that you want to say.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
I listened to your testimony, and I'm trying to figure out, where is the crime that they're prosecuting Diddy for? And I'm wondering, when you had your discussions with prosecutors before they called you, did they explain where they were going? Because I was confused about that when you walked off the stand.
Honestly, that was my personal experience too, being confused. I remember when investigators first approached me in March of 2024. This was before any charges, allegations. I basically told them, "Hey guys, I have nothing for you. I didn't see any violence. I didn't get any cues to her being in distress, and any cues or anything that I mentioned, which I did say there was some wincing and some sighing and stuff. That was in hindsight. If there was never any allegations, I would have never even perceived it as being an issue to even point out. So I'm just as confused as you. I still, to this day, I'm like, I don't know why I testified. I always believed my testimony, if it was any benefit, might have benefited the defense.
Your initial phone call, you said, look, I don't have anything, but clearly they pressed forward. I'm sure you had several meetings, but there was never anything where they said, look, we're going to call you because we think this will connect to something else. Did they ever try to connect the dots for you? Because obviously you told them you were confused right off the bat.
Yeah, I think what the problem was I kept getting passed from investigator to another investigator to ultimately when I was with the attorneys prosecuting. And so obviously they relay notes, but I don't think it was communicated aware, and it was never communicated to me what direction they were going, what from my testimony was valuable that they thought helped the case. Because me and my own evaluation, I just really didn't understand.
I read your testimony, and you're talking about Cassie paying you and Cassie dressing up and kind of prompting you. I kind of had the same feeling you did, which was that's what the defense is arguing, that this was kind of a consensual sexual liaison.
And even if Diddy, and I know you did say at points that Diddy did make some payments, that she would make the initial, I guess, down payment, and then he would pay more when the encounter was over. But you weren't, to be clear, you were never transported, as the indictment is, so you weren't transported across state lines.
This was all in New York, and you live
City,
in New York,
correct?
Right? Exactly. At the time, I lived in Harlem, and all of the encounters happened in New York hotels. So again, like when this stuff started, I was like, look, there's no way I can associate with trafficking. I'm all in the same state.
I thought maybe prosecutors told you something beforehand, because I was so confused when you got off the stand. I didn't realize you shared the confusion.
The only thing I can assume, and this is an assumption because we didn't have the conversation, was I think they wanted to make more significance with the wincing and the sighing and the frustration. But even if I'm being honest, if in the moment I did not associate that stuff with her being in distress or doing anything against her will. And even in hindsight, I understand the allegations, but I would be misrepresenting the situation if I said the situations I was in would translate it. Even in hindsight, I cannot say, oh, those sounds or those wincings or those sighs were her in distress, because it just did not appear to be that way.
Puff was on his what they call victory lap, if you will. Just got celebrated from MTV, just got the key to New York City, changing shit to love, was doing so good, he gave people made publishing back. He was doing everything to change his reputation. But it was one thing that I think the thing that brought him down was Carisha.
What do you mean?
Nigga, hey bro,
Explain.
don't nobody piss your ex bitch off more than you turning up the next bitch. Everything he promised for Cassie, he gave to Carisha. He gave her a show. He gave her a deal. When she's performing, she ain't signed to him. That nigga showing up to her shows like this his artist, like supporting her. And if you Cassie, you looking like, nigga, I spent 13 years with you begging you to give me that. And you giving it to this bitch. And now you making me penny pitch. Now I'ma sue your ass. Cause that's what a woman would do. Like, this nigga, dog, you turned up. That's why it's very dangerous. By the way, he did right by Carisha. That's what he's supposed to do. But now Cassie is like, what about me? And all the shit I endured. Dog, that's why they got a term called the starter wife. The starter wife always goes through the bullshit first. The starter wife always goes through that. When Puff was in his dark stage, he was with Cassie. Now he's in his love era, he with Carisha. Carisha got a way different experience than Cassie did. Who you think that pissed off more than anybody? The bitch that didn't get...
Kid Cudi. Hey, yo, you telling me you cheating on me with a fake skater?
Puff, listen, I can explain. Don't flip out.
Can't stop, won't stop, huh, Cassie? Now you gonna date a dude who wears a wedding dress just to go to Starbucks? Ain't no more freak-offs for you.
Puff, please relax. How about I call the Punisher over and rub his man milk all over your chest again?
Hey, yo, check this out. Don't you ever say his name around me unless you got baby oil all over your body, glistening like a disco ball. I'm gonna go have to teach your little boyfriend a lesson.
Stop forcing me to do all these things I want to do.
Don't nobody get to sleep with my girl unless I get to watch.
Okay, but did he say anything about Tupac?
Dang, nice crib, Cudi. I think you won't mind if I take a look around.
I'm gonna sue him in 10 years when I run out of money.
Oh, hell no, we gotta break up.
I'm gonna have to teach you a little lesson for going behind my back.
What you mean my car on fire?
That's what you get for not drinking any Ciroc. Bad boy, baby.
Don't worry, I'm gonna go talk to him. Day and night. Hey, yo, Puff, what is wrong with you?
Hey, yo, you think I wasn't gonna find out, Playboy?
What?
That you was banging my girl without letting me see.
Gross.
You think that's cool? You let her ride the baloney pony? Let her see that skin steak? But what about Diddy?
What about my car?
I don't know what you talking about.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the party. It's Taco Tuesdays and it's Cinco de Mayo, and you are here with Deleon. This is the house of Deleon. Deleon is, to me, the smoothest tequila on the market. You should try it. I happen to own Deleon Tequila. Yes, a young child came up with a dream while I was living in Harlem that I wanted to go over to Mexico and own my tequila. So to make a Deleon special for Cinco de Mayo, you must make sure you wash your hands. We need more paper towels. Hands cleanliness is next to godliness. And I'm going to make this very simple for you. I drink Reposado, and sometimes I drink Blanco. And I like to keep my drinks simple, ladies and gentlemen, because you may not have a whole lot of things at your disposal at home, but as long as you have some Deleon and some ice, you're all right. See, I like it just a little bit. I like to use like a regular big ice cube, but we don't have those amenities and luxuries right now, so we're going with regular cubes. And look, this is all you have to do. Slice yourself a piece of lime. Tell you this how I drink it. Look, I put the lime in before, you know. It's that simple. Look at that. Look at that. You don't have a lot at the house, but you got a lime, you got a knife. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Then, Reposado. Look at that. You see? Oh, they don't need all this fancy stuff, all the shaking of it, and then there's this and blah, 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 blah. No, you don't need all of that. All you need is some tequila, baby. That's all you need is some tequila, baby. That's all you need is some tequila. That's it. Look, you could do that. Even you could do that. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Cheers. Cheers. From the DeLeon family to yours. So good. Happy Cinco de Mayo!
The male worker, the Punisher, is supposed to testify against Diddy tomorrow. During Cassie Ventura's testimony, she went through a list of pictures of male workers that she could remember from these freak-offs, and one she called out by the name the Punisher. And we found out today in court he will be testifying against Diddy tomorrow. And I'm very curious to see the backstory because we don't know much surrounding the Punisher's interactions with Diddy and Cassie. I was looking into the Punisher earlier this morning, and he's actually a very famous guy. He's a very well-known male entertainer, and he was also on VH1 I Love Money. And let me just say, I found his Instagram account, and I get why his nickname is the Punisher, and we'll just leave that there. Now today, the feds released more pictures of these male workers that had relations with Cassie and Diddy. The first man's name was Skylar, and they hired him from Cowboys for Angels. The second one on this list, released by the government, was Jonathan Oddie. And I can't help but this man was literally vindicated after all of these years and so many people calling him crazy. The next worker on this list was Ash, who worked for Cowboys for Angels and had freak-offs with Cassie and Diddy in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Ibiza. The next male worker was named Brian, and he was hired off Craigslist in New York. The next male worker was Greg from Miami. The next one was Jake, who worked in Los Angeles. The next one is Johnny, who is based in Los Angeles and traveled to New York and Miami, and he was booked through an agency called Latin Men. The next one is Jules, and you heard Cassie talk about him quite a few times in her testimony. And then there's a few that are unidentified in this list, so I'm sure that these are the ones that Cassie said that she couldn't remember. We have another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And what I find crazy about this is we got these exhibits of all of these male workers that have been identified, but there are still some on this list that we don't see photos of. Danielle Phillips, the very first testimony against Diddy, the male worker, his photograph is not in this list. Also, the male worker who is getting ready to testify tomorrow that Cassie Ventura only remembers by the name The Punisher. But I will tell you, the feds are dropping these exhibits like hotcakes. We just got all of the freak-off photos from the hotel when Diddy got raided, and now we have all of these pictures of about 13 male workers in total that they are releasing to the public. And I still can't believe that we are finally seeing Jonathan Oddie's face on this exhibit. Now we know that we heard Cassie Ventura mention him and detail everything, but the fact that now you're actually seeing his picture is crazy. I feel like this man is finally being vindicated on things that he said back in 2018 when everybody thought he was crazy. I am still hoping that Jonathan Oddie is one of these workers that get up on that witness stand and get to testify against Diddy, because I am really curious to hear his whole story. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
This woman out her own mouth. And everything that I'm going to tell you that we're going to talk about is going to be something that she's told me. She told me out her own mouth Puff got herpes.
Oh, shit.
She told, there's a message in my phone right now about how Puff was walking in the meetings, hold an ice cold soda on his face, and everybody, like, she told me that he had herpes. She told me that out her own mouth. She told me out her own mouth that A$AP Rocky is gay and Rihanna knows it. She told me out her own mouth that fucking, cause we gonna go there. You could say whatever about me that you want to.
I ain't saying shit.
I'm not saying you, but this woman has called me gay, and you could say whatever the fuck.
Right now, Sean Diddy Combs is not only fighting for his freedom, but also his money. Even with all his legal troubles, Forbes estimates his net worth is still around $400 million. But But if he were to be convicted, all that could be in jeopardy. Why? Because the government could actually seize his assets. People might hear that and think, wait, does that really mean that all of his businesses, all the money he has, could conceivably have been used to finance this? Therefore, it's all fair game?
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, this is a very, very broadly phrased forfeiture allegation. It doesn't look like there was any sort of pre-indictment seizures that they're counting towards it. Normally you see things they've already gotten their hooks into. So it's basically just saying if it is an instrumentality or a proceed, we're going to go after it. And they've named the enterprise in a very broad way, the RICO. The RICO is essentially anything he touched in his business world, whether it's record labels, liquor labels, planes, trains, and automobiles. Basically mean everything is in play. And the other thing is there's a concept called substitute assets. Just when you think you're crawling out of the wreckage and you're down to your last 400 million, you're told, oh, we're also going for substitute assets, which means even if we can't prove that this particular car, this diamond watch, this piece of art is not connected to criminality, it still relates to our overall reward, and we're going to use it as a substitute.
Ever since Black Santa been in charge, everything's been going smooth. I just delivered everybody's gifts. When you wake up in the morning, you'll be absolutely happy. And we just got back to headquarters. We got some Deleon tequila. Everybody take a shot. I am so sorry to tell you that Santa is black. And I'm gonna still make sure you keep your job. But you have to know that Santa's black now, okay, baby? Santa, you want some Deleon tequila? Oh, okay. Oh. Little milk and cookies. This is the swimming pool. You like the swimming pool? Usually on Christmas Eve, we listen to Brian McKnight. To me, it's one of the best black, super black, real Negro Christmas albums ever made. So usually I deliver the gifts and I come in here, get a little massage, listen to some Anita Baker, have Mrs. Claus come in here and dance on some heels. I don't live in the North Pole. I live in the Caribbean. We live in a world where everybody ain't getting it. And that don't mean that I should stop you from showing you how to get it. This is Frank. This is my #1 King Elk. We only drink Deleon tequila, the smoothest tequila in the world, owned by a black man. We still have some gifts that have to be delivered. Yeah, this is a boat. This is really a yacht. When I started coming out the same box, I was renting like the 120s. You know what I'm saying? Then I was leasing the 190s. Then I was buying the 250s. So we on the 325. We scoping it out. New headquarters. Yo, we got the Kermit the Green. This is the Kermit the Green suede in the elevator. The headquarters is 5 floors. You know, the Deleon's starting to kick in. When the Deleon kick in, Mrs. Claus! Mrs. Claus, Daddy is home! Oh, we have a theater on the yacht. And I would like to give congratulations to the Queen, Carisha, Young Miami. Oh, this is a dream come true for me. Turn this up. Let me see if these niggas flirting with each other. Is there any flirtations that's going on? You trying to talk my shorty wop? Nah, nigga. Nah. No. I see it, nigga.
Because I have been to one of your shows.
Yeah. Why would you have one of that nigga's shows? Why you smiling like that? Tonight is about family. Santa is a black-ass man and a black-ass woman that works hard, don't they? Work hard to get those gifts, those sneakers, those shoes. So to all the parents out there, we wish you happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa. Just peace. May you have peace tomorrow, may you have peace tonight. May you feel proud of yourself that you bought your kids that gift and it hurt the pockets. May they be appreciative and they understand that no matter
what if you don't have a gift? You know what you got? You got the greatest gift of all. You got God.
He got me.
Diddy's former assistant in tears, in pain.
I think my life changed a lot. And I've never really recovered from it.
On the record for the first time about the one time he says Diddy ordered him to prove his allegiance with sex.
It's okay. Take your time.
I remember hearing the words, "Prove your loyalty to me, King."
Phil Pines, who is Diddy's senior executive assistant from 2019 to 2021, revealing to journalist Mara Escampo details of the night he says Sean Combs coerced him into having sex with a woman at an out-of-control sex party.
I saw how angry and upset he could get from the most simplest thing. And I just thought to myself, if I don't do this, I don't know what's gonna happen. This has all been a very psychological, emotional roller coaster for me.
The graphic details were first revealed in this 32-page lawsuit Phil filed on Christmas Eve, but his tell-all in the fall of Diddy is the first time he had spoken publicly about his claims.
Say it, power to the people. Power to the people.
He's a predator. And I mean that in a sexually charged way. I mean that in a manipulation way.
Let's give it up for ourselves.
He has an innate ability to make you feel comfortable and to make you do things for him that you would never do.
And that included procuring items for Diddy's so-called freak-offs.
Freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
Alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, baby oil, and Astroglide were very important. Candles, incense. Obviously, there was, male libido supplements, stuff like that.
And in addition to photos of those alleged party favors, Phil revealed voice messages from Diddy himself for what he knew as Wild King nights.
Phil, I need some Cialis. And give me 20 Xanax, please. Hey, Phil, I need a plan B. I need 10 Adderall.
And Phil, do we have any more chocolates? Because she's going to need a chocolate in a minute.
It was up to Phil and the team to scramble and put together what Diddy required for these Wild King nights.
Did Phil tell you it was also triggering now to see that?
Phil says that Diddy used so much baby oil during these events that he would often have to go provide him more bottles because he would run out in the middle of the events. And he did say that to this day,
The smell of baby oil is just something that, I don't ever want to have to smell again.
This is my soul system right here.
Phil also provided this home video of Diddy with his chief of staff, Christina Coram, described in one lawsuit as the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. Phil has texts from Christina describing what Diddy desired for those parties.
Did you ever see Diddy engaging in sexual activity?
I wouldn't see him engaging, but I would see him directing. He's usually the one filming, from my experience. You were instructed to scrub these things, delete any photos and videos that might be on these devices. That was my job, is to shield his private life from the public.
Today, Diddy's attorney tells Extra many of these allegations were left unchecked and presented a one-sided, misleading narrative, adding a fair and impartial judicial process exists to find the truth. And Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail in court. Did Phil explain why he's speaking out now?
that he was asked to testify before the grand jury. And I think that's why a lot of people have felt comfortable coming forward now. There is safety in numbers.
I'm hoping my story and my truth can help others get to the light, because it's dark.
Photos of Diddy's freak-off evidence was just released. And these are all the photos from the hotel room that the feds raided when they arrested Diddy. We have to start out with this clonazepam because you know your girl be deep diving, and this medication bottle that they found has the name Frank Black on it. Cassie Ventura said in her testimony multiple times that Frank Black was Diddy's alias that he would use during these freak-offs when getting hotel rooms and more. Now, there wasn't a doctor that we could see listed on this medicine bottle, but you know me, I went and did some digging on things that I could find, and we are about to get into it, but I do want to touch on one crazy thing. Now, if you didn't know, clonazepam is an anxiety medicine, and it can also be used to relax tense muscles. But this freaks me out, because if you remember, in Cassie Ventura's statement, she said how she would get so anxious before these freak-offs, sometimes she would even vomit during them, and Diddy would tell her to continue. This made me think of Diddy's ex-assistant, Philip Pines, who was on the fall for Diddy, who said that it was his job to set up these freak-offs, who released text messages between him and Christina Korm, voice memos for Diddy, and even admitted that he testified to the grand jury. In the text messages that he released, this is one of the substances that Christina Korm would ask him to bring Diddy. And I'm cooking, just stay with me. So on this bottle it says 2811 Wilshire Boulevard Suite 610. Now it seems like Diddy got this medicine prescribed to him under the alias Frank Black from Lifespan Medicine, because this is the same address, Suite 610. When you look up Lifespan Medicine, it shows that they have a holistic doctor, and keep this in mind. You guys know I stayed in the court dockets way before this trial even started, and one of the things that Diddy was arguing is that he wanted all of the evidence thrown out from the search warrants of his home, but the government said that they had more than enough probable cause from all of these people listed for all of these different things, including narcotic offenses. Just all of these people listed right here were enough probable cause to charge Diddy with narcotic offenses. A-list assistant one up at the top is being one of these people that corroborated this information with another person known as producer one. They said assistant one and producer one's information corroborated each other about narcotic offenses, and I believe that these two people are Philip Pines and Little Rod Jones, because both of these people worked during the Love album era. And I named Little Rod Jones because he is the one that in his lawsuit included a lot of different pictures of stuff, and one of the pictures that he included was of Diddy having Toosie. Here we go again, seeing the Toosie. This is another photo that was just released of Diddy's hotel room the day that he got arrested, and they raided it, and they found Toosie, they found baby oil, and more, and we'll get to the rest of the photos in just a second. What I really think Diddy is screwed about with his alias Frank Black is the fact that you can see right here, the government talked to a holistic doctor. Seems like Diddy is caught up with this alias. He can't try to blame this on anybody else that was in that room that day. He can't try to pass it off because it seems like they talked to the holistic doctor where Diddy would have got this medicine from in the alias name Frank Black, which could tie into other things that Cassie Ventura was alleging, because she said Diddy used this alias to get these workers to rent hotel rooms and more. Y'all see what I'm talking about now? I pretty much probably already knew this about the government, because they say the government doesn't play. They don't bring on a case unless they know they got you. In this hotel room this day, it looked like Diddy was getting ready to have a freak off because there was baby oil in the bathtub. And this is just adding on more evidence of baby oil that they already pulled. We know that they already got 1,000 bottles of baby oil out of Diddy's home, and they also had these pictures from the assistant Philip Pines of baby oil with all of the text messages and everything else that he gave to the government. Another thing that they got when they raided this hotel room, they also had subpoenas to take and go through Diddy's cell phones. And in Diddy's iPhones, in his iCloud, is where they found more evidence against Diddy to try to use against him in this trial. Now, I assume this is the mood lights that they were talking about, because we have to remember Homeland Security actually already testified against Diddy about all of the stuff that they took out of the hotel. They even let the jury hold this stuff in their hands. The baby oil, the Toosie, all of it. Diddy had Ziploc bags in the closet filled of baby oil and Astroglide. This is the $9,000 in cash that they said that they found. There was another prescription bottle with all of these candies next to it, and even some more Astroglide in a drawer with whatever these are. But yeah, this just shows you Diddy's alias that Cassie Ventura talked about is obviously being proven as being his true alias, not just by Cassie's word. Because this man got caught with a prescription in the name Frank Black, and they have already talked to the holistic doctor where Diddy would have got this medication from. Because remind you, if this doctor was compliant, the feds are going to go to him like, you better tell us right now everything that we want to know about this man, because if not, we're going to take your license because you are prescribing somebody medication under a fake name. That's how the feds work. Same way with Diddy's co-conspirators, we know that they have went after some of them and they have agreed to testify against Diddy. And y'all know me, I love digging and putting information together, so the second that these photos dropped, I was on it. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can get Diddy on is them drugs. That's about it. And that's still not enough for him to serve no Fed time. You know, unless you just want to give him time for being a big dummy. But y'all see it. Feds really ain't got shit except that bullshit. That's gonna charge him with Astroglide and baby oil, and you know, they can get him with the prescriptions. You know, but we'll see. Most definitely. They getting back to court tomorrow after the holidays, so most definitely gonna break it down. Most definitely just the channel you want to be into for all the Diddy shit. Most definitely. Right now, feds really ain't got shit. Yeah. They really had something like right now solid. Is Diddy's team will be looking for a plea deal. Yeah. Feds really don't have nothing solid right now, so we're gonna see how it goes. Most definitely, they say they got a couple more people they're supposed to bring, so we're gonna see who's going to stand and you know, hurt the credibility of the diddler. So we'll see. Will they bring Kid Cudi back? Nah, I don't think they will. We're probably gonna see some lower players, some more assistants who've been fired to come on the stand and say bad things about the diddler. Right now, Feds got a lot more work to do. Make sure y'all tap into this channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. Make sure you go to my second YouTube channel, S.L.R Sports News TV. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment over there. We most definitely will be going back live. Some more Diddy content. Most definitely tap in, tell everybody. Most definitely make sure you hit that Cash App. Support the channel. For sure. Support the content. Don't be stingy with them dollars. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. You know what to do. Subscribe.